speak now. Welcome to everyone. We are very happy to be and to host this second cycle. We are we are on this path along with Jessica. We are you will see that we are going to a from this to a welcome ritual, and we are going to go to we are going to go through some other points, and we will try to have a process that's clear. We will continue now uh, to to talk about the Wayuu territory and their fertile um, land and their ideas. So, what as I was telling you, we are following along a path that that will take us to these places where we have Ma from the last session and Juyá from this session. The next one on the road will be Pastos Sagrados. And look, when we were speaking to Leo, we were saying that Juyá have good news to share, and we wanted to tell you now. I don't know if this year has been very eventful for everyone. So I would like to ask you to, if you can, to please follow this link that I am going to copy for you, or access through it, access to it through this QR code, and you will be redirected to this map. And what we are going to do is that we're going to choose a point, a place that can be any place. Really, I live in Barcelona, so I'm going to choose Barcelona, Spain. And uh, so I can choose a good news, and I want to share that. Um, I want to share good news, and so I will write something here that I'm going to write down, share this process with you, and we may just then publish it. And so you can choose your location and share good a good piece of news. And I would like you to do, all of you do that, to tell us where are you from, and tell us what is what good news in your region is happening right now. We need something like that in the world at this moment, and it's very nice to share good news. Or you may also tell us where you are connecting from, what's your username or your own name. We'll give you 5 minutes to help us with this exercise. We will have 1 extra minute for this exercise, and then we will move on. So we how this carries our knowledge and how it applies in our land. Ta- I will show this to you in Spanish, but there are English, Portuguese, French samples that explain a little bit more about this session. We are unable to listen to hear your audio. The audio? No, we can hear anything. This is this is these are the sounds of these people, and it explains how Wayuu translation is a vehicle for for the voice of the communities, and also in an exchange between the humans and the gods. These are technical steps to document and broadcast their knowledge. This is what Leonardo and Neyman did to have the incubator, the Wikipedia incubator, and we will also talk about the challenges that they face as a community. This is the translation, and we will go on. We will move on now uh, to sharing with Leonardi and does anyone have any questions or comments at this point? Welcome to Leonardi. We are very excited to be able to be in this process because we know that the community has received the support of other communities, and just last week they reached the community that last year um, attain the minimal number of members to be considered, which is now at the Wikipedia, and we are very proud of this because you are very open to accompany the other people who want to do a project like yours. We would like to know about the evolution of your project, you how you arrived at at the point where you had the incubator, how and why exactly did you want to um, start this journey? Can you hear me? Yes. I just um, I just welcomed you, greeted you in Wayuu. I think that the exercise of speaking our own language is important because it's a way to honor our ancestors and those who came before us, because we owe them respect to those elders and our and the people who were here before this current generation, and to really think about the the origins of these languages, and for example Wayunaki, how what was the process like of the creation of this 1,000 years old uh, language, and how it was categorized, how the people named the things that they found around them. So I think this is a part of an exercise of recognizing what we have in our surroundings, and a process of uh, of giving back the territory to the communities. So we would like this to thank this is Rocio and Ana Maria for this opportunity to be able to speak to you about this process that started years ago, and that now is giving its first results, and this is something that's been expanded to other uh, indigenous language that deserve an space here, and we are very thankful for this opportunity to be heard, and we want to welcome the other communities that are gathered here. We think that this is so interesting, and we are filled with joy to be able to count with with the participation of other communities in this process. And about the technical process, I would like to share my screen there. You may be able to see. And so, before starting to speak about what we should consider to propose new languages before the language committee at the Wikimedia Foundation, we believe that it's important to do an exercise of diagnosing socially the language that, in this case, for example, looking into the resources that exist for that language, what researchers are working on this language, or what historical recordings or records exist of this language, because it's something that will help us to make the proposal of the addition of this language before the committee. We think that it's important that also a social aspect, the autonomy and the self-determination of the communities. That's something that needs to be linked to the to link the communities to the to academia and the administration. We think that it's something very important, and also to be able to respect the self-determination right that the communities have, and 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 how they can request for a Wikipedia to exist in their own language. I think this is something that can be reflected collectively in relation to the process of systematization and documentation of a language. We could start with some basic questions. For example, if the community wants the process and believes that the, in the process, and what would be the implications in the long term for for these communities. For example, also what Wikimedia project would better be adapted for their needs, for the needs of the community, to be able uh, to inhabit their land, their territory, with the help of the Wikimedia projects, and also establish alliances, institutional alliances, academic alliances with other stakeholders that allow us for a that allow us to participate with institutions such as universities, doing research, and this research uh, a lot of the time is destined to be kept um, in archives, but we need a process of feedback and joint work with the community and the people who systematized the language. There's a nor there's rules to propose these new languages, a meta wiki page where we can find in many languages these same rules, and you will find here the requirements that you need for a local language to be able to request the creation of an incubator before the language committee at Wikimedia, and and among these requirements is the ISO 639 uh, code, which is something that is used to be able to identify the language. And it's very important to be able to find the code, the ISO code of the language, and we have to check also if the language already has an incubator project, to not repeat the proposal over another project that's being developed. Here it's also important to for people who speak though that language, are proposing this, are part of the team proposing it, because it's something that will allow us to carry the process with the people who are the main stakeholders. There are some other options here. Edit and watch. See your. Well, this goes through a process of review and approval by the committee, and the committee makes sure that the basic requirements are met, so that so the project may function. We need to have a speaking community that's interested in the existence of the Wikipedia project in their language, also the platform language, and the translation of the messages of the incubator. uh, That's something that that I already mentioned. To find the ISO code of every language, you can find in this website, ethnologue.com. You can find on the box, you can enter the name of the language, and it will show you the code as well as other information. As you may see, this Witoto language is endangered. It has very few speakers, but we can see the the support for the digital support for this language is increasing. And once we have the ISO code for the language, we will we will move on to review if the language has any other incubator product. So we will use this code to identify that. And to do that, we are going to input Wikimedia incubator, and get we will be redirected to the incubator's main page. And here you will erase up until the part where it says wiki. And here you hit enter, and it will let you know if there's any projects related to that language. And here we can see that there are no projects that are related to that are incubating for this language. So this is a language that could be proposed for inclusion. And let's look for another project that is maybe present. For example, the Cachiquel language. That's that its code is CAK. I hit enter, and as you can see, here you can see the Cachiquel Wikipedia project. It's working. We have a community of speakers who are currently editing in that language. And to propose also request the creation of an incubator, we have to look for information on Wikidata related to to that language. And so we are going to go to Wikidata and look for Witoto. And from there, we're going to enter Witoto people. We can go here to the native language section. And here I have the information for the Witoto language. I have to have this into consideration, because before requesting the creation of an incubator, I have to I have to count with this I have to have this information. So uh, then we move on to the new project request page, and have to we need to create a user. You may create a user if you have one. If you already do, you log in before proceeding to a request of creation of an incubator project. Here's my user, you can see, and basically what you should do is change project, the wiki project for, and the project and the language. You erase it, and then you go, and then you input the name of the language that you are requesting for for incubator creation. And we get here a script that we can copy before hitting on create. That there, I will be redirected. We will be redirected to this page, and here I will copy. I will paste the template that I copied from the previous page. Here you can replace the information with the information of the language that you are proposing, and you will see how the information changes on the right side of that screen. Here you will change and input the ISO code. Then you have the name of the language. Here I will say Murui Witoto because that's the whole the full its full name. There we copy again the numbers that we saw on Wikidata next to the name of the language, and we erase it. And we indicate if it's a new language. We we choose the directionality of the script. Here's from left to right. Then we add the project. And lastly, here we have some information that says replace this text with your opening argument. And that's something that asks us to indicate what's the reasons that the community is requesting the creation of this space. And we are explaining here that the people who speak this language need to have their own space in the Wikipedia environment. Next, we can see it on this page. And finally, there's uh, there's a section for endorsements, and after this process is completed and all the information is filled out on the template, for the language, you publish the page. In this case, I'm not going to publish because I don't know any Witotos, any Witoto speakers who can back this proposal. So in the community, in the Wayuu community, people go around and salute the other people. I think I want to share something that you said, and it's a challenge of getting the initial community of people who can justify the creation of the project in the incubator. I would like to know about the challenges that you faced doing gathering this community and how you resolve these issues. I think it's important to speak to the people in the same in the community itself, and and be present for some things, because for example, for the Wayus, the first thing they do in the morning is salute each other, and there are certain words that they use, there are certain specific words that they use to and with those words they ask each other one another about their dreams, and that's something that's very important for them. It's a collective imaginary made from their dreams, and that's something that the person responds in a certain way, recounting their dream. They consider these dreams messages. So some rituals are performed when someone dreams something that can be seen as premonitory or as a warning, and so this is something that you need to think about, and you need to communicate it as soon as you wake up, because you risk forgetting and having dreamt something premonitory and not being able to tell the community, to warn the community. For example, there's the management of the platform is something that's been uh, very important for the project, and the process of owning the the, the resources and tools, and to understand that this is not only something that's um, that pertains to a certain group of people, but to a larger group of people too. And we also need to consider the access to the tool. We have to take into consideration that the majority of the Wayuu live in the northernmost portion of Colombia, and that and these are communities very underserved and remote, without the capacity to manage some things, some specific things, uh, and this could and at Wikimedia we saw the opportunity to change those ideas about the community. Thank you, Leonardo. And so here I took as an example the Kachikel language case. They are led by Cecilia Tuyu, and another researcher from the community who speak Cachiquel, who owned the who appropriated these processes and worked with them for their language. And so here we have the result of their request, and we can see if their language has the gathers the minimal requirements for um, for the project. And we then structure the project and shape this this new Wikipedia project. And we try to get to a certain minimal number of articles and to have people who are familiar with these processes of edition, and also the what happens when what will happen, the projections that we have, that we have for when this Wikipedia becomes official. And we would normally find the ISO uh, code first, which is the one that we found with that other web page. So we can find here the name of the language in English. Here we have Translate Wiki link, and also the pages that lead to this incubator. And we can see that for the Kachikel uh, language, we have a number of an important number of articles that have been created by by the language's speakers. And we can see how this if we visited every article, we would see how the community has structure these articles according to their interests. Now we can see here user, for example, and identify the person who was editing recently. So this the incubator will indicate who entered and edited and at what time. The main categories in the incubator are random page, that something that leads you to assert any random article. Then you have the list of contributors to the Wikipedia in Kachkel. You can see also when these uh, contributors uh, uh, signed up. We have a list of the most important contributors, and also we have the request that was made and who it was made by for to get the Tactical project incubator. And so we are seeing who and when in July 2019 it was filled. So here we have, these are the people who requested the creation of the Kachikal incubator. And so we can see that this is something that they named and that they organized, and they provided the ISO code and then their proposal, the arguments to sustain their request, and also the discussion of the people who supported this, the discussions with the people who supported this initiative before, where it says and here you would find also the the archive of all changes that are done at in the incubator monthly. You will see what the projections for the project were in 2011 until the present day. So I can see that the Wikipedia in Kachika was edited up until December 2024. All these users edited in December 2024 in the for the Wayunaki language, we wanted to see because we wanted uh, to see who was editing most frequently because we wanted to call them or to our to come to our workshops and or to just congratulate them for their help and and this was an important step for us at the incubator. And we think that this work and these actions can be replicated by other communities. And I think that this can attract people who want to get involved in leadership and who want to get to take action for take active part in their communities and their the knowledge that they are trying to gather. Thank you for thank you for your help and thank you for this um, skill building session and in line of with what you've been telling us about these tools that allow to see the number of edits that people do. I wanted to ask you if you could expand a little more about the processes or strategies that you use to maintain the community in activity to encourage people to keep participating beyond this beyond the technical tools. What other community tools do you use to engage people, because this is one of our main challenges in the across the projects. Thank you for your question. So in relation to how to engage the community and how we manage to do that with the contributors, with our contributors after the publication of our Wikipedia, because before before when we were in the incubator, we were doing as much as we could to have the minimal requirements for 6 months when we kept the people connected to this process editing even if it's just one word and to really and to really relate these processes with the incubator interface. And this is what we did for the first 6 months of 2022. And then in 2023, uh, we were told that the project was coming out of the incubator because in this process of editing constantly and was crucial, and how to engage, how to keep the interest of the community. We were doing a participation mapping with the people of the community who had a role in the process without with this having these people editing and incentivizing them. We did this with people from Venezuela we went to a faith and joy school, and we spoke to the people who are in charge and who know what are the gaps of information that they have in on the internet, on traditional media that may be used by the teachers in their classrooms. And we also went and we also tried to incentivize people who were starting their just starting their projects, and we wanted to see how we would look in the future with these projects, because what is it uh, what, what is the role that we are playing as Wikipedia for the preservation of the language? And so we wanted, and with that in mind, we were able to uh, to open up to the people about how important it is to do this research, and how important these efforts are. And there was information that was generated in the past that was kept in Europe. So there are archives about this that there are lost, and it's information that that the community would like to reply to recreate themselves, instead of having some ethnologue or another scientist come and talk for them. And so any person who has this kind of ethnic identity feel, can feel proud of their language, because it's incentivized, and its use is incentivized. We spoke recently to someone in Venezuela at the University of Zulia, uh, and she told us about the process and about the importance of the process, because it gives prestige to Wayuu, because and it will make other people who don't know Wayuu be curious about what it says in that Wikipedia, and people who will want to know about their practices and their rituals, and would like to know about these things from their own perspective. This is something that this teacher would told us at that university, and she mentioned that the technology is something that will give the resources to the communities to be able to to continue nurturing that language and keep it alive. And we also spoke to a community of contributors, and we found out it's a community of people of all ages, and who the elder, the elders, for example, are mono only only speak the language, but they would be afraid to go to resort to technology, and it's the newer generations who manage this area better. So what we do is to try to better uh, gather the young people and the older people, so we can work together with a criteria of common sense, and and to help the people of older generations know where to go to find information, and where they could share this information that they now only keep on their minds, which is something very important. It's a very important generational dialogue that we want to establish collectively and openly, engaging people without engaging people without and have them participate without knowing without having to know the technical aspects of it, and so we can have just about anyone uh, integrate and participate in this process without having to know even about the technology or the applications. We also contacted activists, teachers from the Wayuu community who would like to be a part of the process and participate as Wikimedians, and we are we are trying to create an identity that can help these people integrate the process, and we also try to reach the teachers, something that we did with Monica Bonilla, in which we try to reach um, teachers from the Wayuu community. That's something that's important for in this process, because in the end, the Wikipedia is only useful when it's used in the classrooms, when children can enter and access and review uh, all the articles that have been built with the information that we've gathered. Now I'm going to access the main page of the Kachkel language project. Here you can see that it's completely autonomous. Whoever has a project like this can adjust all this, adjust this information, and adapt it to the needs of the community. What we did on the Wayunaki, for the Wayunaki language, we put pictures in displays, and because helps us it helps the community to have something to identify visually there. People need to see that their image is present, and that their writing, their script is also present. And it's something that we want to make it accessible for anyone. Lastly, here's the process of translation of contents. Here we have here we can see these processes. Here I will look for Wayuna key. That will be here. We can see the Spanish. For example, we have the 100% translation of important messages. And in the case of the Wayuna key, it's GUC Wayunaki, and it's 98.59 of important messages translated of Wikipedia buttons. For example, create a user, log out, edit code. It's something that's in the local language. This is something that's required by the committee, the language committee, before approving a project. And so in this list, you may find the ISO codes and the language codes and the process, the progress of their translations. Here you have to log in with your same user, and you can go through the process of editing. And that's what I wanted to share with you, the importance of systematizing the language and to think about the process of documentation that has to be carried out by the communities that have to be involved with the process locally. We know and we've seen it with other projects that exist with that we need to have also activists and other people who want to do things, feel the need to do things. Also, we are seeing with a concern how the language is disappearing, or how the current generations lose the interest of using the language, because there are external influences that modify their desires. And for example, the technological advancements uh, are real, and the communities are trying to not be left behind, and we are trying to adapt the needs of the communities from uh, from what they are doing themselves, to use technology, to web applications, recordings, and phone applications. And we think that Wikipedia would be a very good tool for them to be able to use in the classrooms. And thank you very much. Thank you very much, Leo. It's been very enriching, and I think that everyone who's here and with the objective of encouraging dialogue and, and to listen to the experience of other people who are with us today. We've seen. We've seen that many questions and comments have arisen, and we wanted to open the floor for the people who are present. Maybe someone would like to to ask the question they published on the chat openly, taking taking the floor. And for example, participating in the incubator, or other questions that you have at this moment, in whatever language that you would like to express yourself. This is the space. You may raise your hand so we can give some order to the participation. But we would like to the people who have participated in the chat, and the people who want to make a comment or reference their own experience, is welcome. Thank you very much again, Leonardi, for this journey that you have included us. Anyone?
To get more
Para,
visibility,
to,
can we work on Spanish Wikipedia for example, for us, we work in French since we are based in Canada. There is
We
an article
have the,
on
a river
Saint
here that
Maurice.
it's River Saint Maurice.
Donc, I was saying on our local language to get more visibility on other Wikipedias, we go, for example, on the article in French Wikipedia, for instance. So to give an example, we have a river with Saint Maurice River, and we went to French article to put the local name and to add how it is spelled or named in our language, and the link also to other versions. I'm not sure if you're getting my idea. There is a way to work for you to in Spanish to write in Spanish articles and modify articles and add your local language names and how do you name things, and this would be linked to your in local language. Have is, do you got have you gotten my idea?
Can you hear me? Perfect. So in our case, we have been for a number of years, for over a decade, really working with Wikipedia, and it's been a work that it's been temporary work. I think there's a comment that said something about some tasks with universities, but when the process is over, then it's not continued, and we will see that some contributors are already uh, didn't continue with their contributions. So I think we need to create a committee of sorts that maybe it's going to be an online committee that may that may uh, take care of these contributions. We have many articles or entries translated, but we don't know how we can be oriented to the right path. I think that the colleague that spoke before uh, was part of a community that had a clear goal, but sometimes the others do not have that kind of that kind of support, and the process may be different for them because they work in a very sparsely manner. Is there anyone who would like to share about how the community may be organized around a strategy? First, Leo, would you like to say something in response to Vicente? I would like to know, I would like to just say that the process where we adopted in at Wikipedia in Wayuu we is that we started to research about uh, the the how the steps would be followed. One of the most important parts was the creation of a community, because we can't work in an isolated manner, but we have to involve the community, so the Wikipedia will have representativity. So in the case of the Wayanaki Wikipedia, we went there to the communities, to different parts of of the of the community, and with the idea of engaging people and engaging the communities and the activists who are always doing something, and we saw that it was very important to engage them and also engage people who work with the creation of with multimedia materials and writing, and have people who can make more visible these ideas and their projects themselves. Not long ago, we were we were joined by a young man who doesn't edit Wikipedia, but who really likes to take pictures and is very technically skilled for that. And then this person can be better at contributing with this kind of uh, material. And I would think that I think that it would be great to know about this, to integrate people to the community. Thank you, Leo. And we see Herschel.
Thanks, Jessica. You actually pronounced it perfectly. So thank you, Leonardi, for the presentation. It was excellent. I just wanted to share some insights that we found in South Africa that's definitely benefited us. So we recently had a language after a 10-year period come out of incubator and go to full wiki called Isindebele. And the biggest problem that we've encountered with all of the languages that we are trying to increase content around is having people remain active. So what we've identified in our chapter is looking at ways that we can engage with the next generation of native language speakers so that they can carry on the work that the elder generation are doing. And what we did last year is we initiated a project with all of our universities, so around the South African continent and all of the provinces. We went to each of the universities. We partnered with um, our governing bodies to work on projects where we could engage with not only the universities but also the students to activate new native language speakers to contribute to the languages, and that seemed to benefit us the most because getting that newer generation involved and getting them passionate about contributing in their native language around native content has seen dramatic improvements in the languages, the 11 languages of South Africa. So what we've additionally done is we've identified as part of our strategy for the chapter to look into isolating champions. So language champions for the newer languages. So in the instance of Isindebele, we are actively looking for a editor that can champion the cause for that language, that can make sure that they try and activate as many people as they can. What we've seen with the first champion that we've isolated as a pilot in the Basasutu language is we've actually seen massive contributions in projects that we ran in the last year. So I would encourage anyone else that is looking at new languages, looking to activate members and to carry on the work once languages have come out of incubator, to look into utilizing similar types of strategies. But thank you. This presentation has been very enlightening. So I appreciate it, Leonardi, and I appreciate the invite, Jessica. Over to you.
Leonardi, do you see the the summarization of Luke's question? So I would like to know if you could help us thinking about this visibilization of the good the visibilization of the people, or the visualization of these different people who this- Thank you very much for the question, and to the people who have commented. I think it's very valuable and very gratifying to listen from other communities. This motivates us to keep working on our local languages in our region. In relation to the question, it's happened on Wikipedia in Wayuu, for example, when people external to the community uh, have mistaken information of the Wayuu rituals or realities, and so this information is contrasted. But it happens. It happened with the case the of the endowments for for the alliance between families. It's the dowry, and it's something that's been misinterpreted by the external communities in Colombia and Venezuela. And I know also that some of the ISO codes of the language do not reflect the identity and or do not reflect the denomination itself of the language in the area. That's what happens, for example, with Hector Martinez of the speaker, the Nahuatl, Salvadoran Nahuatl speakers community. He explained to us that PP, the ISO code in PP is a code for Pipil, but according to Hector Martinez, Pipin is a term, a despective term that was used by the colonizers in El Salvador, that used to denominate those, and it meant to signal people who talked in a very joyful fashion or cheerful fashion. And it's something that this code that this ISO code did not respect the self-denomination of the community, but it was used to for the project, for the Nahuatl, Salvadoran Nahuatl project. So how also it that we were also talking about the differences between different Wikipedias and how some historical events have some different meaning for for different communities. It's different process of conquest or colonization for the colonizers and for the people who were colonized in the region. There are deep differences of interpretation of that event, and from the communities it's a story of survival, and it's something that that has to be visibilized, the ideas and particularities of the information. And I don't know if you would like something else, if I've answered your question. So I think that we have to to resort to the pillars. We have to respect the point of view. We have to be balanced and to be inclusive with the information, because we have to include as many points of view, verifiable points of view as possible, and have the references that can support them in Wikipedia. And I think that it's something very important to do. And the Wikipedia in Wayuu it recognizes the two variants of the Wayuu, the northern version variant and the southern variant. There are different in the pronunciation of certain words, in the way of speaking, and the meaning of certain words. For example, a case is there's the case of a word achinki, a word that's used by people from the coast, but people in the in the other side, they use another word for for the same idea. They mean the same, but they have two different words that identify the same idea. And so, how do we, in one article, include this same idea with the two different ways that is spoken? That's something that we can do, and that's something that's going to reflect the richness and the abundance of the language, and the fact that it's alive and it's not being lost. Brisa, please. Thank you very much. I have a question for Leo and everyone else who's involved in this process of something for our alliances. Uh, I know a little bit about your process, but I would like to ask you about what alliances were most important for you to reach where you are. And I would like to know about the universities that were your most powerful allies. And and seeing that in Wikipedia we don't have a one size fits all approach, we would like to know what kind of alliances were the most strategically beneficial for you to get you to the point where you are today. Thank you. Thank you, Brisa. And in relation to these alliances, I think it's very important that the alliances are so important, and it's important to be to be related to these communities. And one of the first institutions that we consider as allies were the same communities, the communities themselves, because you can just go to a community and say, oh yeah, we are here and we know a lot. We have to establish alliances with the local communities. You need to speak to the traditional authorities of the community, and then you establish an alliance with the community. You're welcomed, and people give us access to the community, and are and express that they are open to be a part of the process. In some schools, there were exercises with Wikipedia projects, Wikipedia offline projects, using the archive of Wikipedia in Wayuunaki. That's something that's for me very important to share, because it shares offline what's already shared online on Wikipedia. And so we approached schools and communities with other stakeholders, like who could support our arrival, and that this was an opportunity to also approach universities like the Southern University, the La Guajira University. These are different cases. Uh, the, we've noticed that many times there's a bit of zealousness in academia. They don't want to really share the knowledge, the information, because they consider the information their authorship, and they don't want to understand that this is a collective effort. And so we've tried to reach important linguists, for example Jose Ramon Alvarez, who's one of the most important compilers of Wayuunaki language. And thanks to to this linguist, Wayuunaki has an alphabet and a script. And and for example, Maria Teresa Bravo is another person who has supported us, as well as other native linguists, Núñez Ballesteros, Lourdes Ballesteros, some people who are important in the community, and who recognize Wikipedia and the opportunity of transcending and something that can keep the language up alive through these works. And we think that the work of these people is producing results, and to develop an alphabet for the Wayuunaki language, for example. And we've have alliances with Wikimedia Colombia, with Wikimedia Venezuela, Wikimedia Argentina. It's very, I think it's very important to approach other groups and chapters, because things that we don't understand or that we don't have, we can trust that that other people will be able to explain to us, or to connect to us, to someone who can give us the support, the technical support that we need at some point. And uh, and the alliances, and how to manage the alliances. And we also are defending the we are also looking to alliances with activists who defend these languages, raising voices, the National Bibliothèque of the Republic, who know it's been doing what is being done with the Wikipedia in Wayuunaki, and it's something that maybe in the present it's not something that seems very transcendental, but we know that in 3 or 4 years time and beyond, it will be registered and it will be something that will be concluded, and that's going to have a shape that that the that these alliances are going to help with, and and will be useful for the communities themselves. For example, with the the Bank of the Republic, we've done some research, some local research of language for language for the week. That it's important for the Wikipedia in Wayuunaki because it's something that will give us important resources that come from the bibliothèque of the Bank of the Republic, all the archives of pictures and other materials are open to us. It's very important to foster partnerships that will that would allow us to be more accompanied in this process. Thank you very much, Leo. I don't know if anyone would like to share or to to pose a question. I see that we are accompanied by many people from different communities. While you think about it, you can I would like to ask you, Leo, a challenge that that you've told me is that you were the only administrator on Wikipedia on Wayanaki. So what do we do when we only have one administrator, and what will we do in the future to expand that community and to foster more technical skills to be implemented in the project? Currently, the administrators of the Wikipedia in Wayuunaki language. It's a very complex work, but that really teaches you a lot. You are constantly learning about these roles and about Wikipedia in Wayuunaki, and the challenge of managing the technical part is something that I think it's evidenced by uh, it was evidenced immediately on the first workshops that we hosted with Neima and all the team at Wikipedia in Wayuunaki. This is something related to centralism and this and the center and the suburbs, something that's related to the access to the tools and to the institutions. And we think that it's important to teach the uh, technological ability skills to people in the communities, even if they learn slowly, uh, because it's a gap that's been present, and that that's still present because in other parts we are just they are talking about artificial intelligence and robotics, but in La Guajira we're just speaking about the process of creation of a Wikipedia, and this is part of of a very complex challenge of connectivity at the Guajira, and it's something very particularly socioculturally in the population. This is something that was also manifested in the fact that some people were afraid to come near to the computer or to use the mouse or the keyboard because they thought they were going to damage it in some way. And then in that case, we were we as a part of the community, we understood and we were very clear with that we weren't going to that we were going to be contacting people who didn't have deep technical skills with computers, that they were going to have basic technology, basic computers and cell phones, and it's something that these people it's something that we have to use because it's what these people know how to use, and we have to know these particularities, and we have to take them into consideration to give us the possibility of reflecting how how the community can be can work at its at its own pace, and we can patiently accompany their process. So many people, so other people may be engaged to use the platform to upload pictures and to be able to use a simple, a more simple language, and not as technical, because it's a form of engaging people, because when we use other words that are bigger or more difficult, we generate sometimes a misunderstanding. And I think it's something that we have to that is related to to digital gaps, and and these efforts have helped closing closing a little these gaps. And I think that articles about this information that can be that can be found on Wikipedia. I'm just seeing a comment that's related to from Argentina, from Chaco, and here in this province, uh, four official languages are recognized, and three of them are indigenous languages, and we are working with those languages. It's something it, it's people, it's communities that are getting interested with the Wikimedia projects, and we are trying to get the incubator going and what information can be done for now. And we saw that that it was a very hard process to take on, because the Wikipedia is had very high requirements, and we noticed that the one of our of those languages didn't have an ISO and didn't have the code, uh, which is Mokoi. That meant that if we couldn't start with all three, we had to give priority to only one, and that was going to be very complex, because if you work with those communities, you have to work with all three. You can't leave. You can only select one and leave the other two out. And we saw that one of them had a name that wasn't representative of themselves and their language, and they denominate their language as com, but it's described on the ISO as toba, which is this despective because it makes a physical reference to their foreheads. And something the Wichi language had another problem, which was that there are three dialectical variants, and just the one that's located in Chaco was not present. The the Salta variant was instead, and so we decided to try to get an ISO, a language code for this variant, and we found many complexities in relation to the language codes and how they are used. And so, because of that, we decided to not start with the incubator or Wikimedia, but we started via Wikimedia Commons and Wikidata. And we linked geographical locations, and also information that is shared, images of the different places, and also adding to this adding institutions like universities, archives, and that has information about these communities. And that also was an evaluation that happened between the communities, and the information's been held by these communities in relation to which should be uh, prioritized or not. We've been working for 3 or 4 years with these languages from the province, and just recently we found complexity but we think that we have an advantage here in Latin America, because we have there's bilingual intercultural education. There are teachers who are trained in Spanish and other indigenous languages, which is something that help us that fosters a a bigger group of people who speak and write in those languages, because when we all we have is speakers but not writers, because it's something different. Writing and speaking are different things, especially for native languages, especially something that's normalized is that is something that's related to other dialects. In Wichi, for example, something that is very different, an important difference of using one or other variant, for example, is on Wala, and this territory would be written with a J, Huala, but in Salta, it would be spelled with an F, like Fuala. And so those are written differently, and that subtlety gives way to a big change for the people who speak and write those languages at the moment of having to formalize this word in a piece on a piece of paper. And that also nurtures a dialogue where one dialect will prevail over the other. But this is something, that's why it's something we are working on. There's another question we get from Luca uh, about that they have only one Wikipedia that's divided into different dialects, and they are, and he asks why this is not done in other cases. Can you explain about that? Why different dialects don't have their own section within the same Wikipedia?
What we wanted to make is to divide how things are spelled in different communities, but not to. The idea is not to marginalize a specific community or dialect, but we wanted to have all them included. Donc, if you write to an article about squirrel, it is written on a local dialect, but we would put several redirects to lead to the same article. And we have divided the article into 3 dialects. So one dialect would have one section, and each dialect will have a section dedicated to it to explain in their own words. And it is well structured, and it gives the possibility for dialects to find easily the words or how they would describe and define the words and the terms, and everyone is feel welcomed and can write about in their own dialects. I'm not sure if you have gotten the structure. So if I create an article in in other dialects, they would have different entries. They would just create a section in our dialect. This animal, for instance, we called it this word, and this would be redirected to the main article.
Thank you, Luke. And so we have 9 minutes. I would like to invite Neima or Leo to close a little, to give us some closing words. Maybe you, Leo or Neima, if you would like to say something, you're welcome to. Thank you very much to Rocio, and thank you very much to Conectemos for this space. I am saluting you from La Guajira, and I will tell you something very, very short so that Leo can also say some closing words. I'm very happy to be with you, and it's and to remember that those processes and how they were developed, how we gathered at the beginning to think about it. I remember the first one of Jessica's invite to a Let's Connect, because at the moment I was very lost in the Wikimedia movement, but thanks to the experience that we've done, that we have in here in this territory with your help, we've learned a lot. And what I would like to contribute today is that something that just like rain fertilizes the earth, the Wikipedia projects fertilizes the our fertilizes knowledge in new technologies. This free encyclopedia has fostered a global movement, and Wikimedia and its project have generated in every have generated something in every corner of the planet, and we see that I heard something that I think that Earth is not just fertilized to be able to grow and collect, but to also heal the earth. And so I think this is something that we do for all living things. And so the wiki projects are like that. It's something that's for everyone, for communities, for schools, and it's there for all of us. I remember our experience with Wikipedia many years ago. I used to have a radio show in which I had Wikipedia as an information source to do the work. So the Wikipedia is not limited to kids and to schools, but it's for everything. Everything. I just recently said something about the weekend, some series on Netflix, and I heard that it was mentioned in that in this series Wikipedia was mentioned, and I told my daughter, look at Wikipedia is mentioned in this series." So it's a global movement that we are very interested in contributing to, and learning from without regard of the color, the age, the gender, or the people, but the Wikimedia movement is doing is doing important things, and I think we are, and I feel glad that we are a part of it. I was very glad to listen to what Leonardi said about the technical part of this, because it's a part of the community that we are sometimes more directed to the communities. And so I see that this example can take us long, and let's go ahead with this. Thank you very much. Would you like to say some closing words before Ana Maria closes, Leonardi? Although it's difficult to follow name. I would like to thank you really for this space that that you established to listen to us, and how it's been these things have been uh, managed. Um, for example, and how we are talking about, for example, water and the rain, something that's very important for us, Wayuu Naki, and it's something that the, the animals and the plants grow again because of the blessings and the good news that are brought from there. And we are very thankful for this space, and we es- we hope to keep coinciding with this person, and encourage them to be able to inhabit to occupy this special this digital space, because it's something very important for our own representation, and our epistemological conception, because it's important to consume our own information and not depend of external information. That's very valuable, and that's something that Wikimedia allows us to do, and it's a tool that gives us the ability to dream up in our own language. Thank you, Leonardo, for those words. Luke gave us a nice idea to participate and develop these knowledges in our next session. So we are on the second, and we are going to have three more with different steps in this journey in 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 relation to indigenous spaces and ancestral territories. Please, Ana Maria, it's yours to close. Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here with you. And I would like to share some of the things that we left untouched in the board, on the Canva board. And I've done a little summary of how we uh, started, in the words that were used by Leonardi. You can find these QRs to get some information, and here you can find this other box. We've spoken to Leonardi before, and this is a video that I think is very interesting, because it's a conversation between them, the person for Inawe, and that describes the process that the incubator followed. And you can see here some of the other words that were used. And well, we were speaking a little about the materials, and something that we did with Leo and also Jessica and the team was to do a small summary of all the processes that could happen at the moment when preparing an incubator. It's an information that's also available in Spanish, in Portuguese, in French, in English, so you can visit it. So we have all the points that we have to go through when creating an incubator, and so we can see this material. You can see this material. It's at your disposal, so you may read it. And anything that you can see that may be modified, or any comments that you have, we are open to your comments, and really we welcome your input. And we are closing now, and the next step in this journey, our third station will be centered in culture and ethics, and we will ask you to bring some questions about it, because the true richness of these circles is to have a dialogue and not just listen. It's something that's these circles are giving us something important, because this community can be strengthened. And I think these sacred spaces that we're going to talk about in next session, we are going to also speak about cosmos and order. And please, if I could ask you to please give us your feedback. And thank you very much to Leonardi and to everyone who participated. Naima is very good. It's always very good to listen to you, and thank you very much to everyone. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you to everyone.